What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Troy Grooms reporting live and direct. It's a beautiful day today. Today is Monday. We are actually almost, well, this is the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get on here and just have some therapy. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's a lot of pressure in the world, but it's all good. I just want to really get on here and just talk to, the audience, you know what I'm saying, the community. Like I said, Troy Grooms is my name. You know what I'm saying? Groom U Media is my game. I want to thank YouTube for the opportunity to be able to express myself and also to not just for views and likes, but just pretty much to just express myself, you know what I'm saying? As a black man, pretty much, as a human being, as someone who is really, growing from the inside and out, you know. I am not vulnerable, but I am at a vulnerable place a little bit. I'm pretty much at a place where me expressing myself, could be a little emotional, once, I'm not really, allowing myself to get it out, if that makes sense. So this video, I kind of did some videos in the beginning of my YouTube career, being black and gay in America. It's kind of like one of those things to where, I'm 49 years old. I'll be 50 in December. No kids, single. Never really been in a deep relationship, but, had hookups and hopes to probably get in a relationship. One of the hardest things to, do in the LGBT community is date, especially African Americans, especially, you know, uh, it's kind of like one of them things to where you would want to, connect with someone of your own kind and your own, background. You guys kind of have like similar experiences and what have you, but that is very, very, very challenging for a lot of reasons. But anyway, this is not a relationship as far as like hooking up type of video, but this is a video that's going to touch based on like family and rejection and how racism, not racism, but it's kind of like racism in your own family, because believe it or not, black people hate gay black people. I'm gonna be 100 with you. They'll rather not deal with you. If you're not, famous. I mean, you got a lot of famous black, homosexuals. You got a lot of gay men and women in the industry, but they're celebrities. They're on TV. They got a lot of money. They got a lot of prestige, and things of that nature. So that hit a little different, if that makes sense. But as far as me is concerned and what I've experienced growing up as a kid, I always was fighting. I always had to defend myself, my own people, my own family, my cousins or neighbors or people I went to school with, other kids and blah, 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 blah. So me growing up in Chicago all of my life, Chicago was a very rough city. You know what I'm saying? It's even rougher now. Thank God I don't live in Chicago anymore, but all of my family's still back at home, but most of them are scattered, like my mother, my sister, and a lot of my family that are like, my mother's side, they're like more in the suburbs now. A lot of them got out of the city years ago, but there is a big percentage of my other family that's in the city. A lot of the younger ones that are on like the west side and the south side of Chicago that just still love that city life. I don't get a chance to go home often, but I do go home several times a year. But when I do go home, I pretty much stick to family. I pretty much go see my mom and stay at my mom's house. My sister, my little nephew, I go see like my aunts, and that's pretty much it. Then I'm there for a couple of days, and I'm back, in Atlanta. But one thing I am noticing even more now is that family won't deal with you. You have so many things right now that has really broken our families up, and one of the things is the support, the love, and the communication. Since I've been on my own, I lived in Las Vegas 5 years. I've lived in Atlanta for this time 2.5 years or two. I'm still there. Really, I'm still there technically, but I'm here in Memphis with Granddad for a while. So I noticed that there are a lot of people that cling to their gay family, their gay friends. They call them. They have like gay houses. They have just like a small group of friends and people that are together. They kind of like are tight, but then you have like the ones that are like me that really don't have that. I didn't grow up with a lot of gay friends and brothers and sisters that I would call my gay family. I don't have a gay mother. I don't have a gay father or anything like that. Um, it's not that I don't believe in that, because I do believe that people have motherly and fatherly abilities to love you as such. But I'm too old for that. I love my mother and my father. But for the most part, when it come down to family, man, it's like even since I've been out in the world, like I was saying just a few seconds ago, as I've been on my own, I'm very rarely reached out to. I'm very rarely invited to things. I'm very rarely in tune with what's going on with my family. I'm the one that's always reaching out to family and saying, how y'all doing? I miss y'all. What's going on? Around my birthday, I probably get several phone calls or text messages saying happy birthday. But there's a lot more on my end that I do. I reach out to everybody every year to wish them a happy birthday and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, for many years, I took it to heart. I really, really, really would be hurt. And throughout the years, it played on my mental state. Things that I would hold in my subconscious that I had to learn now how to really let go. Um, I really, really have been praying more now than ever, just for my own mental sanity, that I will not only I don't hold grudges. I don't want to hold resentment in my heart. I don't want to have an attitude or anything, because I understand life is lifing with a lot of people. You don't know what people going through. You don't know what people are struggling with, and I get that. I think that the ultimate thing for me is reaching out and being reached out to, especially in the time of need. I miss them, and when I'm missing you, I'm missing, you know, family. I want to talk to you. I want to make sure that you're okay. And sometimes, in my situation, or in most of the time, that doesn't happen for me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really, really, really learn how to be stronger in myself, to not allow that to affect me and allow that to bring me down, because I used to be really emotional like that. I've had family members come to Las Vegas when I lived there and didn't include me in the time when they were there, but they knew I lived there and I knew that they were coming, and then, spoken, in part too while they were there, but never really made time to connect with me. So not taking it personal, because when you come to Vegas, a day can go by just like that, doing activities and stuff like that, and especially when you're with other people. Um, I'm just really just, letting this all out, because lately, even with me being here in Memphis, I have like two sets of family. I have my mother's side of the family, which lives in Cordova. Then I have like my granddad. It's only me and him here. But my aunt and her husband and her son, they live in like Millington, Tennessee, which is like an hour away from Whitehaven. My thing is this. I've reached out to my aunt like 3 times since I've been here, not been here, but this past week, from the weekend and even today. It's not that I believe that it's because I'm gay, what I'm saying, that she don't want to reach out to me, but it's just kind of like, family treat their gay siblings different. I believe that a lot of times, it's like they unconsciously do this. What I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm out here by myself with my granddad. What I'm saying? I mean, I'm not driving right now. I'm in the process of maybe getting some driver's license here and things of that nature. Granddad is in his 90s, so I don't bother him and have him running me places and doing things. But I have not yet been invited to go out or do anything extracurricular. What I'm saying? Or go out and see the city. I'm going to have to do all that on my own. What I'm saying? I already know that. But I do want to say that, I am really, really, really growing as far as me just even doing a video about this. But I do want to say that one thing people don't understand is that being a homosexual, being gay. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Now, me and my mother was having a conversation earlier today, and she was telling me about how she's worked in healthcare for so many years, and she's had a lot of white, especially white gay men that were employees or, associates at work with her, that never got this type of treatment, that never really was judged, that never really had the broken harmony in their families and in their relationships, and also in their social dynamics. I'm not saying that every black person that's gay go through this, but I guarantee you, if you were to take a poll, it would be a lot of people agreeing with me that if you're black and gay in America, if you're black and gay in your family, you are not treated equal. You are not treated the same. They can say they love you all day. And don't get me wrong, if anything happened to me, I know people be crying and people be all upset for a minute, but they gonna get right back on into their personal life. But what this is doing for me, this is really, really making me a stronger individual, and also to stand on my own 2 feet like I've been doing. Yes, I've had some setbacks, and yes, I may have needed some help, But I don't bother people. I don't ask people to borrow money. I don't, things of that nature. If I need a couple dollars or something like that, I know who to call. I know who to reach out to that can, send me some money if I need to get something that serious. But for the most part, I am very, very, very stable within myself. I am very mentally and emotionally stable. And this is the reason why I love my YouTube channel. This is the reason why views and being monetized is not really a big deal to me. I follow the analytics and I follow the YouTube guidelines, and I definitely want to be an authentic person on YouTube to be able to reach out to people or just even let people hear another person's story when it comes down to some of the things that we're all hoping for. And that's just to be free. That's just to be loved. That's just to be financially successful. That's just to be, creative in whatever way that's possible. I think that that's therapy. That is so therapeutic for me. I love to see content creators expressing themselves and talking about what it is that's going on in their life. How they got from one place to another place. I follow a lot of business oriented people who have become multimillionaire and billionaires from nothing to major success with their companies. That's motivating to me. Prayer. I listen to a lot of prayer. I listen to a lot of religious and spiritual teachings, people who teach the Bible and things of that nature. I think that all those things work for me because regardless if my sexuality is what it is, I am still a human being and I love God. And don't get me wrong, I don't put myself in a position to want to walk in a lifestyle where I am confused about who I am. I love being a man. I love being a black man. I am a strong man. I've came so far in my life, and even in my manhood, I had to start loving me. I had to start embracing me, and that's what I'm even doing now. The more I am really at a place where being by myself, it doesn't bother me. I think that's a lot of issues or a lot of things that most people don't want to do. They don't want to go through stuff alone. They don't want to be by themselves. But guess what? I'm doing it every day with God's help. I'm doing it every day, and it's a lot more I could say. It's a lot of things I could really go into because the rejection is really what kills you. That's what kills your drive. That's what kills the spirit of a person that's really just want to treat people how, be treated how they treat people. I'm a very nice person. I don't have any ill intentions or anything against anyone's will to do any harm to them by any means. You never have been that way. I think that I've been mistreated so much growing up as a kid. I decided when I was young that I was never going to be mean to people. I was never going to treat people how people treated me growing up. I could have been killed myself and been on drugs and been, a prostitute and just been walking the streets and just being lost in my own mind. I could have been lost the mental part of me because there are a lot of homosexuals and people that are out there. People don't understand that that's a battle from within because really, to be honest with you, it's one of the most hurting lifestyles. It's one of the most hurting emotions. Not being able to connect with the right one to love for the rest of your life. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people that are successful, that are married, that are gay, that are happy, they got money, they got careers, they got family, they're even raising children. There are a lot of people who have connected with people like that. The vibration is high for them. I think that I have a high vibration also, but guess what? I can't connect with somebody that's hurting, and I'm not walking in hurt. I think I'm walking at a very high healing level right now in my life where I'm able to come on here and talk about it. Most people don't want to have this conversation. I've been hurt before. What I'm saying? I've been, somebody gave me a sexually, transmitted disease, having HIV, what I'm saying? Like, I thought this person loved me. I love this person. We had a great run with each other, but this person was living a double lifestyle and was trying to say that they were true to me, but really in actuality, they weren't. Thank God that I survived that. What I'm saying? And this was years ago, and then it happened to me out of all people, but at the end of the day, it's like, it can happen to anybody, so what made me exempt? I was having unprotected sex with someone who I cared about, who I thought I was gonna have a future with. That's the thing. So it's not that I have trust issues with, being in a relationship, because it doesn't matter, because I'm so well rounded in it to where I'll know automatically if you for me or not. Um, it don't take me long to figure it out, and if God, allows me to connect with you, then okay, then it could be a friendship. We can have some companionship. But as far as going somewhere in the deep, it'll take a long time before I do something like that. I'm just not gonna up and jump into a deep relationship. And that's another thing, being a gay man, is that we'll go out a few times and then now we in love. No, that's not love, that's lust. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times what we don't understand is that we have to love ourselves first before we, you know, do anything. I don't know. I think people love RuPaul for a lot of different reasons, because RuPaul not only is one of the world's largest entertainers, but RuPaul, first of all, is married to a white man. You know what I'm saying? So RuPaul ain't even dealing with nobody black as far as love and a relationship, because I believe RuPaul has lived a life that showed him different. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why he connect with other cultures of people like he do. Like, I'm a very diverse culturally diverse type of person too. Like I said, never really dated outside my race, but I think most of the time white men are scared of black men. I mean, I've lived, being in Atlanta. I mean, it's a lot of beautiful white men. It's a lot of handsome white men. And I've, like, been online and on the apps and, said hi, hello. First of all, everybody not a scammer, so I believe a lot of them think that black men are scammers. I think a lot of them think that black men are gonna rob them or things of that nature. So it's all this LGBTQ stuff, y'all, is jacked up, believe it or not. A lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people will not tell the truth, but it's definitely a lonely lifestyle. It's definitely a lonely lifestyle being gay and black in America. Trust and believe. But I trust God, because you know what? My life is becoming more elevated because I'm putting myself in an elevated place. I don't mind being by myself. I think that at 49 years old, and I'll be 50 in 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I could do this the rest of my life, and then too, I have my mother, I have my sister, I have my family members. Then on top of that, I don't have a problem with going to bed at night by myself. There are so many other ways to, have fun and put other things in place of sex and being in a relationship. Like, it's way more to life than all that, and I'm learning that. That's why I love to bake. That's why I love to go to church. That's why I love to do, other things. And I'm building my own, my own brand. I'm building Total Image Expos. And, that's something I work on every day. Then too, working a job, things of that nature, so going to the gym, you have to have a schedule of things that keep you occupied 7 days a week. 365 days a year. I think that a lot of people don't understand how to do that. Boredom is the killer, to get you in a lot of stuff that you don't really got no business doing, And then too, I have a strong prayer life. And I'm not saying that I'm, because a lot of people try to throw religion, into the homosexual sector. But I realized this, that God knew everything, in the beginning of time. He knew, the scripture says he knew thee before he formed thee in the womb. And then also too, God knows everything as far as being the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And so God already knew that this was going to be my struggle. He already knew that this was going to be the cross that I had to carry. This was going to be the thorn in my flesh. This was going to be the thing that I hate to do, that I should not do. Just like, the Apostle Paul in the book of Romans, I'm saying, you read Romans, Romans, in the Bible. The Apostle Paul never said what his struggle was, but he had a struggle. I'm saying? Most people would say it was pretty much he was gay, but you never seen him with a wife. He never talked about his love life or anything like that, which most of them don't. But some of them have had wives. That if you read the Bible, not just reading it just because of the storytelling, but to get some spiritual food. It's spiritual food. It keeps me rooted and grounded to be a believer in God and to be a believer in Christ. And don't get me wrong. A lot of people say, well, if you're gay, then God does this and he does it. Yes, he does. He does deliver and he does heal. And that's a process too. A lot of people don't understand that. Your mind, if you've been a drug addict for 30 years, you just don't come out and be clean. Yeah, you can go through rehab and all those different things, but them behaviors and those things that psychologically lined up with your behaviors and the way you move and all that kind of stuff, them things have to change in time. What I'm saying? All those behaviors and that whole subconscious thing and being a drug addict or a dope fiend or something like that. You take a dope fiend and they've been only sober 20, maybe 10 years. they still got some dope fiend tendencies, trust and believe, because I know some. I know quite a few of them. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's about processing, taking things one day at a time. So I just wanted to get on here, you know what I'm saying, before the sun went down and do a video and just, you know, touch bases with you all. And thanks for those who have been subscribing, those have been following me, those have been liking, and whatever the case may be. You know, I follow the analytics from YouTube. YouTube gives me a lot of feedback, and I'm learning this thing. But one thing I definitely want to do is make sure that I get on here and keep it 100 with my audience. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Troy Grooms reporting live and direct. Groom You Media, like, share, and subscribe. And, you know, just, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm encouraged. I'm not discouraged. Pray for me like I'm praying for you. Praying for our nation, praying for our president, praying for the world, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we need right now. You know what I'm saying? It's to love each other and come together. But I do pray for the LGBT community, you know, and I also pray for our families and different things of that nature. But I'm just keeping it real with y'all, though. Being black and gay in America, especially coming from the black community, which is one of the hardest challenges I ever lived. Making it through everything else is good, but when it comes down to being black and gay in my own family and certain areas I go in, that's why I don't go any and everywhere. I do not go any and everywhere because there are a lot of people who hate gay people, and there are a lot of people who will try to hurt us too, you know. And so I don't do the gay prides, and I don't go to certain events and things of that nature because I believe that people target those type of events to do violent things to people, you know. So I'm very aware and cautious of my surroundings and who I have around me and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of cruel people out here in the world, and they would definitely love to hurt one of us. So just praying for us, man. You know, y'all have a good evening. Good night. Be safe. Have an awesome week. Troy Grooms reporting live and direct. Peace.